special guest, Henry Fambrough, the last surviving original founding member of the Spinners, my co-host, Mr. Larry Cotton, international music journalist, and Philadelphia radio host, Miss Diane Brown. Hard to believe that the Spinners, Larry, have been with us, and Diane, for more than 50... Diane, can you believe that? More than 50 years.
Yes, I can believe that.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Me too.
We have...
Well, I got something to say about that.
You hear that voice? That is the original founding member of the Spinners, the last surviving original founding member of the Spinners, and with us more than 50 years. And you know, the Spinners are still performing today. Henry Fambrough is our special guest. What an honor to have him tonight, the Motown Philly legend himself. Good evening, Henry.
Hey, how's everybody doing? How you doing? We just left a resort in Atlantic City last week.
A sold-out show.
Everything is good.
We were there.
Everybody was, the show was a sellout, and I can't say no more than that, because when people come out and see your show, and people come out and tell you how much they love you, you can't do no more than that.
That's right.
And I saw Diane, Miss Diane Brown. We had a interview with her, and everything was just like you know what? It's just like in 1975.
That's something. The good old days. Yes.
And all the young people that came out. You had a diverse audience.
Yeah.
Young and old, mostly young.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it was standing room only, and we were all the way in the back to the side. And I'm gonna tell you what happened to Larry Cotton that night, but we'll talk about it a little later on. But anyway, it was a great show.
Those people that you talk about had grown up to be adults.
Yes.
It's man.
And they brought their kids and grandkids.
Kids and grandkids. It was a real family affair to see the Spinners.
We get that a lot because. We travel around the country, and we are blessed. The Spinners are blessed because the people remember the songs and things that we did back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And they tell us that they bring in their daughters, they bring in their grandkids, and everybody say, we love you, and we teaching your music. You can't ask no more than that, okay?
And when you listen to Spinners music today, the music that you recorded back in the 50s, the 60s, it still sounds good today. The lyrics, the harmony,
well, you got to realize back in the 50s and going into the 60s, it was the groups. You had, our first manager, our very first manager that we helped us was Harvey Fuqua of the Moonglows.
That's right.
Okay? Now, he's the one that, what you hear today from the Spinners, the sound that the Spinners have, Harvey is the one that taught us how to sing. He taught us how he put our music together. He put our voice in the right position. Okay, so what you hear today is the result of Harvey Fuqua and the Spinners. And I remember when we first came through, we got our first hit record in 1961, and we came through the Uptown Theater up there in Philadelphia, and we had I'm having a moment here. Anyway,
that's all right. Go ahead.
The key player was Tom Bell at the
Uptown Orchestra.
Yeah, Uptown Orchestra, and he remembered. He said he told us that like when he got a chance to sign with Atlantic Records, he said, "I remember you guys." He said because no one was singing like you guys were singing. He said that there's one note, and he still said it today. Yeah, he said that one note that made you guys stand out different from all the other artists. And when he had a chance to produce on any act in Atlantic, And he said, I want to do his spinners. And they said, I remember Jerry Greenwood, he told me, he said, look, he said, I got all these artists, I got all these, and you want to do the spinners. We just signed the spinners. We the last one on the page. He said, look, I want to do the spinners. He said he wanted to do the spinners because he enjoyed and he loved the way our harmony was set up. And that is the bottom line to the spinners right today. And when we walk on stage, like I tried to tell the guys, and after GC and everybody, they left the group, and we replaced everybody. There was one note that the people that came in, they couldn't hear it, and I was trying to explain it to them, And when I really became successful at explaining it to him, he realized that one note is going to be there. It's going to be there.
Your trademark.
That's the key to your sound, right?
Right. That's our sound. You can't. I don't care where you go, where you come from. We, as the spinners, has that sound. And you can't change that.
Yeah, that high pitch harmony.
And what makes the spinners the spinners.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And
then Bobby had a unique lead voice.
Oh, yeah, Bobby Smith.
Oh man, Bobby. I remember Tom Bell. He would say, "You know what? Bobby got a voice that nobody else has." Just like he was talking about the guy that in the Delphonics. He said, nobody got their voice.
Yeah, William Hart. Yeah.
You go around the country, you go around the world, you got these separate voices that's out there, and if you're lucky enough to pull that in to your thing, you are lucky because they're out there and you can't do nothing about it but grab it, pull it into you, and live with it. And we did that with Bobby, and Bobby had been a living legend in our mind, in our style, and everything. And people they look at Felipe that was singing with the Spinners at the time, but what you don't realize, Bobby set everything up before Felipe to do what he was doing.
Your sound,
okay. Now Felipe did Sadie. Love nobody. But if you look at the Spinners as a whole, Bobby set up everything at the beginning.
Even at Atlantic Records.
Felipe was, just like Tom Bell said, Felipe was a finisher. And we look at that as a finisher. And that, what people don't realize when they listen to artists, groups, or what the situation is, they say, oh, that's what's happening with that, But they do it without realizing that they're saying what the person might be listening, and people are putting that person ear. Because I like when John Edwards came on the
scene,
on the scene with the Spinners after Felipe left. He told us he said, look, I got people in my ear all the time saying, hey, man, you got to be a lead singer. You got to do this. You got to do that. He said, look, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. And so I didn't, he came to us and told us that. We didn't know it. People come through back, as I say, the back door. And they'll come to you and try to pull you. And I'm quite sure they did the same thing with the Temptations.
Oh, yeah.
They did the same thing with the Four Tops, but the Four Tops are just like the Spinners. They ain't moving, they ain't going no place, okay? Like Levi told me one time, Levi said, hey, man, look, they can come all they want to, but they're going to keep on going.
Ain't that something?
Okay? You're going to keep on going because all they're doing is trying to get that guy or her to do what they want them to do. And if the person that they're trying to pull is that weak, you don't need them in the first place.
How about that? Mm-hmm.
Now, Henry, your performance, choreography was so polished. Now, tell us about that.
Well, in 1964, our manager at the time was Harvey Fuqua, the leader of the Moonglows, if everybody remember the Moonglows. And they was very, very, very big in the 50s and early 60s, late 50s, early 60s. And Harvey became our manager. And can't go into everything as it happened, but Harvey became our manager. And 61, him and Gwen Gordy, which is Berry Gordy's sister of Motown Records, they became partners. Okay, they opened the company that's Tri-Fi Records, and we were the first artists that they had, and they recorded us, and we became an instant hit on that album, on that record, and on that album. And that same year, I was drafted into the Army. Okay, and I spent 2 years there, and I came back. And when I got back, the Tri-Fi Records wasn't doing real good during the years that I left. Okay, so when I got back, Gwen merged us. We merged with Motown. That's how we got with Motown in 1964. That's how we got with Motown. So, and our first record, our first recording on Motown was Sweet Things.
One of my favorites. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sweet Things, produced by Ivory Hunter. And Ivory Hunter did some real good work for us, man. I'm going to tell you something. He did some damn good work for us because he did Sweet Things. He did I'll Always Love You.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, we wasn't traveling that much, and we was working. Me and Purvis and Bobby worked 8-hour job at Motown.
Okay.
Okay. Now Purvis worked in the shipping department, and he said, "Man, look, we shipping out records on I'll Be Around, I'll Always Love You." Look, I know that we shipped out more than 1 million sellers. He know that. Mm. But during that time, Berry Gordy was not. He wasn't certified million sellers, so didn't nobody know what they were selling, Mm-hmm. So at the end of that, our contract ran up in 1970. In 1970, our contract ran up at the same time that we had a very big hit on Motown from our very good friend and partner, Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder recorded and produced It's a Shame.
Okay.
And it was released in 1970, and it became an instant hit all across the country. And at that time, I guess, you look at things, and as my mom used to tell me, things happen for you or to you for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, when It's a Shame came out, our contract at Motown was up.
Right.
Okay? So we left Motown on a big hit. And I won't go into details about what happened after that, but we was on a tour with Aretha Franklin,
mm-hmm.
a very good friend of ours. And she told us, look, I'm with Atlantic Records, and I think they would be a good company for you guys, okay? And she recommended Atlantic. We contacted Atlantic, and we got to talk to Jerry Greenberg. And this, I'm telling you this in real short, but this happened within 4 or 5 years, okay? And so, at that time, when we signed with Atlantic, Tom Bell signed with Atlantic. They gave him Atlantic roster. Our name, the Spinners, were at the end of that roster. You know, they had Aretha Franklin, all you know. And he said, "Look, I want to call it I want to produce these guys at the Spinners." And Jerry, we was talking to Jerry, and Jerry said, "You want to do the Spinners? Wait a minute, we got all these big acts up here. You want to do the Spinners?" He said, "I want to do the Spinners." And see, Tom Bell remembered when we came through
the Uptown.
Uptown
Oh, yeah.
in 1961. He said, and I remember looking at him because he was the keyboard man.
Okay.
We go on stage, leave stage. He was sitting there. And he said, "Look, with no other group in the country singing the chords and notes that you guys were singing. I enjoyed playing for you." We had our harmony set up. Harvey Fuqua again, okay? Harvey Fuqua set up our harmony just like the Moonglows. Moonglows were different from any group out there, okay? And he said, I want to do these guys." Now, Greenberg came to the Spinners. He said, "Look, I know that you guys got your record. We got this song that you brought with us." He said, "But we got this producer want to produce you guys." We said, "Okay, who is it?" He said, "Tom Bell." We don't. "Oh, Tom Bell?" He said, "Y'all, couldn't y'all hold up on the release?" We said, "Hell yeah!" So, make a long story short, Tom came to Detroit to interview the Spinners. He came in. He bought his record. He bought his recording. I'm doing this short because this is 2 or 3 years. Okay, he bought his recording, and he took the guys. He said, "I want each one of you, the lead singer, all 5 of y'all, to sing whatever you are comfortable with, whatever she want to sing into this mic. I want to hear the quality of your voice." Now, this is the first time in our life that we had somebody concentrating on the Spinners' sound. Okay? Now, he left. He said, "Look, I'm going back. I'm going to give this to my guys of writing. And within 3 to 4 weeks from now, I'll come back and I'm going to have some songs for you guys." 3 to 4 weeks, he came back. Tom Bell. Now, to make a long story short, he played "Could It Be On Falling in Love?" instrumental. "I'll Be Around," instrumental. "Love Don't Love Nobody," instrumental. And "Just You and Me, Baby." Those 4 songs he brought back with him. Now, he said, "This is the song that I'm going to record you guys on." And we listened, and everybody listened with no big hoorah about it. He said, "Okay, good. Now, we're going to go back." And so he said, "By the way, I want you guys to know this." And I remember this, for as long as I live. He said, "Within next year, you guys are going to be the #1 group in the country."
Wow.
Okay? And Bobby spoke up. Bobby said, "You're right." Okay? Now, we've been with Motown, 10 years? Nobody concentrated on our sound. Nobody wrote for us. But, if you with a company and you're a writer, what you gonna do? You gonna present your song to the hottest artist on that label. So you had Marvin Gaye, Supreme, Four Tops, Temptation, Be the One, and go on and on and on and on, right? So if you're a writer, that's who you want your songs to go to.
The biggest names.
Okay? So we got lost in the shuffle. That's the reason that we didn't sign back with Motown. So when Tom Bell came up with these songs, I'm just putting it all together for you. This is what happened.
Okay.
And so we went into Philadelphia and we recorded those 4 songs. And How Could I Let You Get Away? They released it on Atlantic.
Okay.
And it was moving up the charts, okay? But there's a disc jockey in Buffalo, New York. He said, I'm going to turn this in. We talked to him. We interviewed him. He interviewed us. He told us, he said, look, I like How Can I Let You Get Away, but I looked on the other side of it, and I'll Be Around. He said, y'all got to be crazy. He put that song on his air, and it shot up to #1.
Diane Brown, our good friend Diane Brown, radio TV personality and very special guest from the Spinners, the last surviving original member of the Spinners. From Let's Get It Started back in the day. We have Henry Fambrough as our special guest here tonight. And thank you again, Henry, for being part of the show here this evening.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great because we have been coming through Philadelphia and New York and New Jersey and the East Coast for years and years and years, and we can't get enough because the people are so beautiful to us, you know. Everybody's so lovely, and I remember Mrs. Brown on DAS, you know, in Philadelphia, you know, and all the radio shows and everything great.
Well, Diane was telling us before about the story about I think they were doing a fundraiser, Diane, in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we did that. Jackie Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, we did Jackie Wilson, and in fact, he had his attack on the same stage that we were performing on in New Jersey. You know,
Latin Casino.
Things are not going where they're supposed to be going, and we told our manager, and he and Diane Brown and the radio station, everybody, we got together and we did a show to raise some money for Jackie and his foundation, and it was so successful. Okay, because we didn't want to do a show. One of those shows. Oh, this is for such and such today, and they get 25% of the money. No, we wanted to do a show where Jack Wilson got 100% of everything that was raised in his name.
Wow.
And so that's what we did.
Now, Henry.
Yeah.
I've been a Spinners fan ever since That's What Girls Are Made For.
Great.
And you've been promising me, you're not going to bite my tongue. And you told me when you come through again, you're going to sing a lead on one of the shows. And you have quite a few songs
you got a
that
lot
you do an awesome job on.
I mean, look.
And people want to hear, and I'm one of them.
I know.
Girl, I'm kind of glad you walked into my life, and just as long as we have love with Dion
That's my song there. I love that one.
As you know, and
we're listening.
I don't want to, it's because I love my guys. I love my guys, and we started out together, and we lost Billy, then we lost Purvis, and we lost Bobby and Felipe. So all the guys that I started out with, kind of, you know, the Lord called them. The Lord called them home. Okay. So right now, I interviewed the guys that we have with us now. Charleston, Washington.
All nice guys.
Yep. Jesse Peck and Marvin Taylor and Ronnie Moss.
Okay.
They are four of the you know, they are just like the guys that they precede. You know, they are great guys.
They are.
I love them. You know, and we always, just like the early guy. Then when we before we go on stage, we always pray before we go on stage and ask the Lord to help us. You know,
Right.
and bless us. And we're still doing it. You know, we're still doing it. And then I know, like Jesse told me, Jesse Marvin, one of them. He said, "Man, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm not gonna name the name of the group, okay? It's not good to do that. But he said, the guy said, What you mean? You pray before you go on stage?" He said, "Well, yeah, we say a prayer before we go on stage. Prayer, hell, y'all talk to each other before you go on stage."
Wow.
And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, we go on stage, when they call our name, we almost go into blows."
Wow.
And I'm not going to name the name. I can't do that because it's not good, you know. But he said, "Y'all's dressing room is so quiet." He said he was, you know, and the guy was in there. He sat down, and he was looking around. I saw him, you know, we talked, you know. Everything was good. He said, "I would love this." He said, "I would love this, man, but that's the way some people operate, you know." But we can't. No, I can't do that. No, it's ridiculous.
Sound like you guys have a great camaraderie, you and the Spinners, and even the current group of Spinners. I mean, you all get along really well, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
You have a great time, and you just...
And you can feel that's genuine, too. You know, it's not an act, you know, and we've been around y'all quite a few times since the new lineup. And it's real. But getting back to what I was saying, I'm still waiting for you to sing that one lead song.
We're going to play...
All I'm asking for one song, Henry.
Yeah, we got it back. We didn't do it. I didn't get a chance to put it in at this last
Show.
resort at the resort. But the next time we come through there, we will have 2 or 3 different songs in the lineup. Okay.
Okay.
And I promise that to you.
And
but, you know, it's different. It's so difficult to do what the audience wants you to do. Because
I understand.
make sure if we have been blessed as the Spinners have been blessed, okay? We have been blessed with so many
hits.
Hits.
So many hits.
And national hits.
You know? And if we try to do everything that people want to do, we would be out there for 2 hours.
With a spotlight on the music of the Spinners, our very special guest is the last surviving original founding member, Mr. Henry Fambrough. We've got international music journalist Larry Cotton as our co-host, as well as radio and TV personality, Miss Diane Brown.
Can I ask Henry something?
Yes.
Can he hit on a little bit of when they went to Africa with Muhammad Ali and did the show there? Just a little bit on that, and how did you get to do that?
We and James Brown and 4 or 5 more acts went over there, and we performed, and it was enlightening experience for the Spinners, because it was like people that you didn't know, that you do know, that you wanted to know, and that you're glad you did know. You know what I'm saying? Because you met people. We walk off the plane, and people loving us. We have never experienced that before in our life. Okay.
Wow.
So when you get there, and they take you to this special room, and you got teenagers You got people, they got banisters, and they want you to sign sign about, autographs and all this,
Right.
And it's like you're in awe because you back. It's just like Felipe always said before he passed. I am home. I may not go back home.
Mm-hmm.
This, that statement in itself. I am home. I may not go back home.
Right.
I got you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can feel the love.
How deep that comment were,
Mm-hmm.
And we got to meet people, and Muhammad Ali, he's a very, very, very good friend of the Spinners because wherever we are, if we're on the East Coast, Muhammad is coming, and he gonna walk in the dressing room. Him and Felipe gonna start boxing.
That's funny.
And I remember when he had that fight with Joe Frazier.
Yep.
And he told us, he said, "Man, I'm gonna tell you something. That is as close as you're gonna get to death." He told us that, man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we looked at him because we visited him in the hospital when he was there.
Right.
And we went to the hospital, and we walked to the room. Him and Felipe always join and talking, having fun with each other. He walked in the room. He said, "Get that out of here!"
Oh, Lord have mercy. Sound like you had quite a time there, Henry.
When we were there, in Zaire, we went to his training camp, and they put on a show. Him and Felipe. Felipe got dressed. He got boxing gloves and everything. And what Felipe didn't know, Muhammad Ali played him. He played the hell out of him. He didn't, when we got there.
Rope-a-dope, huh?
That morning, that morning, he didn't come out. He didn't say nothing. Felipe we got to the training center, and they all the guys, all Muhammad Ali guys, hovering around Felipe, putting their gloves on, and told him to warm up on the bag and everything. Hit it. Make sure cause he's coming out. He's coming out. And so at the time Muhammad Ali came out, he had this look on his face like, "I'm on. Okay, I'm gonna hit you so hard, your ancestors gonna know you, right?" We walked in the ring, and Felipe was, "Hey man, how you doing, man?" Oh man, I didn't say to him. He turned his back on him. He psyched him out. And when the ring, when they said, "Okay, box," and the bell went bang, Felipe turned around. My Hollywood coming to the middle of the ring, right? And Theo said, "Man, all I could see was Joe Frazier going flying across the room."
Oh, wow. You're listening to the best of the R&B showcase with yours truly, Tim Marshall, and international music journalist, Mr. Larry Cotton from the UK publication In the Basement magazine. Our guest co-host is radio TV personality, Miss Diane Brown from Philadelphia. We're spotlighting the music of the Spinners. Going to go into their latest album now. It's called Round the Block and Back Again. The personnel, C.J. Jefferson, Marvin Taylor, Jesse Peck, Ronnie Moss, and the last surviving original founding member, Mr. Henry Fambrough. It's So Much in Love on the R&B Showcase. Our special guest is Henry Fambrough, the last surviving original founding member of the Spinners. And Henry, what you got coming up? Shows, where you going to be at, where you performing at, and what's happening today for the Spinners?
It's great year for us, and the engagements are coming in. We're leaving out of Detroit in April, and we just left Atlantic City at the resort, and we're going to be in Washington. We're going to be in California, Georgia, and South Africa.
Wow, South Africa. Wow, going back there, huh?
Yeah, South Africa. Then we in Miami and Boston and Gulfport, Mississippi, Missouri, Del Mar. Then
Wow.
we going all the way up into November. So in fact, we got stuff going on. And in fact, we got stuff booked for next year.
Well, the guys getting a chance to see the world traveling with
Yeah,
you.
we got that. We're doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 20 years.
This is awesome. Great news. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Henry, any plans to do any new recordings with the Spinners, with the groups you
we
got
got
now?
guys in the group, just the writing, and we got plans for a new CD.
Wow. Okay. All right. Look forward to that, man. Any time frame on that? Because it's been a while since we heard something new from you guys. I'd like to hear you
we're
get a hit
going
with
to get
these.
something out there for the people to listen to, okay?
It sounds good to me, man. But
Okay.
the legendary Henry Fambrough, last surviving original member, founding member of the Spinners, man. I just want to thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule and sharing the evening with us here tonight as we do this spotlight on your group.
It's my pleasure, and I just want to let everybody know that we're still here. We're not going into place, and we'll be in your area pretty soon.
I want to ask you one question, too, Henry. Y'all recorded a lot of material. Like you said, you couldn't do it all in 2 hours. You couldn't do it all in almost a day, really. Do you have a favorite?
No, you know what?
Wow.
Everybody asks me that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a favorite song, but publicity-wise, I would say all of the hits, But
Yeah, so many of them.
but I got my favorite album. I would say is my Mighty Love album.
Okay.
And we get a lot of requests for that. I mean, those Girl I Want, I'm so glad you walked into my life. Ain't no price on happiness.
Yep.
I mean, love,
Yep.
love has gone away. And
That's
since
right.
I've been gone, the whole thing from top to bottom is a great album.
You can't beat it, man.
No,
I'm
you
telling
can't, man. That's really good.
And one more question. Have you heard from Tom Bell?
I talked
Lately.
to Tom let's see. I talked to him last month.
Okay.
And the other month or so, we get on the phone, we talk, and that's an hour conversation right there.
I got one of your songs I want to ask you about as we go into the Sound of Philadelphia, the Tom Bell years. There's a lot people want to know about this track. They see you doing it on Soul Train. They go back, they watch the videos on YouTube, and they listen to that part that Henry Fambrough does, the Nowhere to Go part. Can you give us a little background on how that was recorded, Henry?
Oh, that was recorded while we was out of on the road working, because at that time the Spinners was working so doggone hard, man. And we was like doing one-nighters and all across the country. And when we recorded the song, that part wasn't on there, and we didn't have time to come back and put it on. So Tom used one of the girls that did the background for us, and he had her to do it for him. And he said he tried to get a girl that would sound closer to my falsetto as he could, Yeah, so that's how that came by.
Okay. So then you have to recreate that sound on stage then, right?
I do the best I can.
Well, for years, I thought Henry was recording. He recorded that line there.
Yeah, he said, well, I tried to get the girl that sounded closer to your voice, because at that time, my voice, I could do the falsetto real good, and for the song that they was writing for us, And so he says, I got this girl, man. I think she can nail you. I said, okay, good.
So with so many hits, how do you manage to get how do you decide what to sing in your shows?
Well, we try to do the song that is mostly requested, and we can't do everything. So, if we did all the songs that everybody really wanted to hear, we'd be on stage a couple hours,
A couple days, you mean?
So we try to put all the songs in there, and at the end of the show, we make up a small medley, and we put. I know people don't want. I know, like when I go hear artists, I don't want to hear a medley, But we can't do everything, so we put a small medley together at the end of the show. And we ended with Rubberband, man,
Okay.
So we got just about everything in there, you know. It was packed in there, but we got it in, you know.
I mean, you've had so many hits. I mean, Funny How Time Slips Away, Working My Way Back to You, Cupid. So many songs, man.
Yep, and it's always, and to go through them albums, man, it's just, that was album hits, and that they didn't put out as singles, you know. You can't do them. You can't do all of them, man.
That whole Mighty Love album is, I mean, every song is a classic, man.
That's my favorite album. That's my favorite album.
Now, what's your favorite single recording that y'all made? I know so many that y'all recorded.
The favorite single?
Yes.
All the hits.
Your favorite single?
Well, I said all the hits.
You like them all, huh?
You know, my favorite single, I really don't have a favorite. Like I said, I got a favorite album, Mighty Love album, but not one song, you know.
I mean, even the things you did in the 80s, I mean, I used to like a song that you had on your album called I Found an Angel. That was a beautiful song.
Oh, yeah, with John Edwards.
Yes, indeed. I mean, just phenomenal stuff.
John had a heck of a voice, man.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
And before he had it, and in fact, he would still be with us now if it hadn't been, but you know, he had a stroke. And
how is he doing?
He's doing good. I talked to him. In fact, I talked to him 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's doing real good. He's doing real good. And he was down visiting Bobby in Orlando a couple. I think last week he was down there.
Okay.
And so he's doing real good.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I just love to hear John sing, but I actually like that Gotta Make It On My Own, too. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. I Gotta Make It On My Own. Yeah.
You did some great things with Diane Warwick. I mean, you did Just As Long As We Had Love. And then came you.
Then came you. And in fact, when we did Just So Long We Had Love first, and everybody was thinking that would be the release, you know. And Tom said, nope, it's not going to be it. We think, you know, it's going to be the other song. And we